Greetings adventurers, this is Lorne, your guild advisor, and before we get started with the .memo news, I would like to thank Zero, Mikey A978, and Sera from Discord for some of the translations used in this video. But anyway, we got a lot of news from today's Japanese livestream and the English Twitter post, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, we're going to get version 9.3 of the game, and it's going to come with quite a few quality of life changes which are going to be appreciated. First of all, we'll be getting a save and load party and equipment feature. So we'll actually be able to load our party loadouts and equipment loadouts into a menu like so. And that's actually kind of exciting because it's a really big pain to switch your equipment all the time. So hopefully this does work that way and you'll be able to save your parties and also the equipment saved to that party. Because again, it's a big pain having to swap out equipment every now and then. And we're also going to be getting a slight update to the crafting. Right now when you try and craft an item, like a specific item, you go ahead and craft that, but you have to reselect it if you want to recraft the same item. Now the cursor will stay selected on the item you just crafted, so you can just keep on crafting away if you're trying to get a specific roll, like specific bonus stats or a high range for the damage itself. And here is the main graphic for the celebration of the 2.5-year Japanese anniversary. There's quite a few things to go over, and we'll be going through pretty much all of them here in this video. Right here is the 24-hour share campaign. So come Christmas Eve, it looks like, we'll be having a Twitter campaign for the English.memo account. And for every 250 retweets, you will get an 11 draw ticket. Now it's a regular 11 draw ticket, just a standard 3-star guarantee 11 draw, but the more we get, the more likely we are to get good characters, like 4-star characters from the gacha. And there's a maximum of 10 tickets to be acquired from this, so the maximum goal for the retweet campaign will be 2.5k retweets. So let's try and get that to happen when it comes to that time, and I'm sure the English.memo account will tweet that out as soon as possible when that starts. And here's something called the Grand War. Here it says, old rivals are here again, challenge and clear all quests. So if you've been playing the game for the past year, you should recognize a lot of these bosses, characters, as stuff we faced in previous events, like in Familiar Rushes and Familiar Royales. And that's what this Grand War is. Basically, you'll be getting a lot of boss battles over the course of the next few weeks, and you'll be able to get rewards based on completing those battles. And this is a non-familiar type thing, so this is something that you can just do for yourself. If you clear through a stage, you will get a 4-star guaranteed 11 draw tickets and 5 hero lights and other luxurious rewards. So hopefully that does mean, since there's 3 stages that we can see here, 3 4-star guaranteed 11 draw tickets and at least 3 instances of 5 hero light packages. So hopefully that's the case, but we got a lot of stuff to be fighting in these next few weeks here. Next up, we'll be getting a rerun of the Argonaut Part 1 and Part 2 gachas. I'm not too sure if that just means the gachas themselves or if we're going to get an event rerun. By the looks of it, it's probably just the gacha itself, so we're not going to be able to get Iris from like redoing the event itself, but that would be really cool if that was the case. This will be really nice for players that weren't around for Argonauts, or maybe you didn't get a specific character to maximum break and this is your new opportunity to do so. A lot of these characters are still used quite a lot today, like the Orna assist is very useful if you're trying to get a edge on your opponent when it comes to max agility stat. And then Crotso and Argo, of course, you usually see a lot as well because they're main staples on fire physical teams. The Galmus is very good for defensive type teams, and Yuri over there pairs really well with the new Christmas Aisha when it comes to a single target Earth element physical team. So here's an opportunity to get a lot of these characters. Unfortunately for me, I have a lot of these at +5, so if I try to get an Orna, I might get an Argo instead, and I already have them +5, so very scary for players that are trying to fish for specific bonds and have some characters already maxed out. And here we're finally getting more .memo Season 2 story added into the game itself. This time episode 35 and 36, which is actually should be episodes 5 and 6 of the anime. And also with the update, we'll be getting a new main title screen featuring Haruhime singing her character song, so look forward to that if you're a big fan of Haruhime. And here you can see that if you do clear up to episode 36 within 2 weeks, when this is added, you'll be able to get a Bell, episode 35 and 36 11 draw ticket. And what that ticket is something from the new banner that we'll be releasing, featuring a new Lili and a new Hestia in interesting attire. But these are the two characters that we'll be releasing with the update coming probably tomorrow night. And the two new characters are Unbreakable Heart Lili, wearing the Apollo Familia uniform, probably to reference the fact that she disguises herself as Luan during episode 4. And then the Yellowbird Hestia, wearing some duck-looking outfit that's probably based on those weird ducks they put into episode 5 of the anime that I'm not a big fan of. Here is the new Lili. She is a balanced type character with more of a focus on the physical side of things, and she's only at 963 agility, but her skills are pretty interesting. For her special arts is an AoE ultra water physical attack with temporary strength boost and ultra unguard rate, and decreases enemy water resistance by 50% from 1 turn. Now, it's a good skill to use if you have a water type team, because water resistance debuff will help you in that regard. But usually, as I say, you're usually better off using these special arts for characters like a actual physical attacker, magic attacker, because they'll just do more damage, or maybe a Haruhime special because she'll be able to buff everyone on the team. And as for her combat skills, her first skill is a fast guard and counter rate buff of 25% to your allies, and also debuffs enemy agility and dexterity by 25% for 4 turns. So it's a very interesting move. Of course, in war games, which is probably one of the main things you want to be using this in, it does 2 things. It helps you and debuffs your opponents, so you'll be able to guard more attacks, counter more attacks, and also lower your opponent's agility, so your units will be able to go before them on the next turns if you're not already going first on the first turn. As for her second skill, it's an AoE fast low water physical attack with an ultra uncounter rate, and removes fire, earth, and wind damage buffs excluding assist skills. Now, I don't think it's going to be too useful for war games because it's very specific on the elements involved. That looks more like something you might be using in an AoE boss encounter, like maybe there's going to be future opponents, future enemies that will buff their earth, fire, or wind. But those are very specific elements to be using if you're trying to use this in war games. And for her last skill, it's an AoE super water physical attack with an ultra uncounter rate. And if the translation is correct, it will deal 25% of your opponent's HP as poison damage. So that's actually a pretty substantial amount. A quarter of their HP is quite a lot if you have 4 characters all attacking, and this deals 25% of their HP as poison damage, along with whatever damage the attack does in the first place. So it looks like Lili will probably find a place on teams that are using the new Tsubaki and also the new Bell. And for her passive, which is quite interesting because this is the first instance of getting a passive like this, her counters do 50% more damage, and they also will remove agility buffs from your opponent. So if Lili happens to counter an opponent's attack, if they have an agility buff, she'll remove that. So that also is an interesting thing that might be useful in war games. We'll just have to see how it goes when her banner launches and people try to experiment with her. And then for the new Hestia, I don't know how I feel about this outfit. I wasn't a big fan of that episode, and the original Duckies included in that in season 2. But here's the new Hestia. She has a high strength stat of 579 and a decently high agility stat at 501 when max limit broken. And for the assist skill itself, at +5, it will increase your ally's strength by 15% and reduce water and wind resistance of your opponents by 15%. So this is obviously going to be used for teams that use water and wind characters. And that does it for the 2 new units. On with some more news. We have something called the Luxurious Login Bonus. Basically, it's just saying that over the course of this New Year period, you'll be getting at least 1,200 Iris in total between all the login campaigns going on. You can see the timeline over here. And right here is an example image of the 2.5-year Japanese anniversary of the game. And the Iris you'll get through that campaign. The first stage you can see right there is 400 Iris, which is one multi-draw, so that's pretty nice. And then here is the last spurt missions for the Ladder of Ario that will be concluding very soon. As you can see, the draws will be happening on the 24th, Christmas Eve, but this is a last opportunity to get as much tickets as possible, so make sure to do these missions. It should be pretty easy to do. Clear a main story quest, that's just one of the regular dailies we have. Clear a Winter Reverie Part 2 quest, that's something you should be doing anyway, as you farm up those gnome ticket rewards. And then a Record Buster, that's a pretty simple ticket to get when Ravus Record Buster starts. And right here is a new paid bundle for the Japanese 2.5-year anniversary. It includes one adventure exchange ticket, one assist exchange ticket, and then a guaranteed 4-star 11-drop ticket, and then 2 3-star guaranteed 11-drop tickets. And there will also be a bonus Iris campaign, so whatever you pay for 300 Iris, you'll actually get 400, and then whatever you pay for 1400, you'll get 1600 Iris instead. So a decent deal if you're trying to get some Iris to get these bundles. And now we have even more advertisements for you to buy and put money into the game, of course, because they want your money. It's basically advertising a 600 Iris and 10 Hero Light bundle. You can purchase it up to 2 times, and you can see the price range down there. So if you want to spend your money, there you go. I suggest you save that money for Christmas presents for your family and friends instead, or maybe a lot of game sales going on like Resident Evil, Sekiro. Anyway, and here's Ravus Record Buster. Again, I feel like all we've been doing is beating the crap out of Ravus. Actually, I'm kind of in this autopilot mode in my own mind, so I don't mind doing Ravus Record Buster because I can pretty much do her mindlessly now at this point. So look forward to beating up Ravus again. And then we'll also be getting the Mega Valus quest. So if you are a newer player and you don't have too much Valus, because I know you use a ton of it when you're starting out and it's hard to get some, this will be very useful for you. And then here is just a layout of all the events that are ending this week. It says until Thursday, but I believe it's actually till Wednesday, and this is really based on Japanese Standard Time. But a part 1 of Winter Reverie will expire. The second hero trial featuring Subuki and Bell will expire. Familiar Rush should be done tonight, actually. And then War Games will be over, and the Hero Fallen Quest will stop. So keep an eye on that. Make sure you're doing those before they all expire this week. And then this right here is an ad for the 100th Japanese Damemo live stream that should be happening next week on Christmas Eve at the great time of 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I don't recommend staying up to watch it because who knows what will happen. One thing to note, though, we will get the news later on, but one thing to note about this is that the producer that's been on all the live streams for the past 99, this will be his last live stream, so this is a nice little send-off for him. And hopefully they announce some exciting stuff. They've been teasing that collab for quite some time, and I know this is going to be a public live stream meeting. There's actually going to be like an audience during the recording of this live stream and its broadcast. And the last time they've done that, they actually announced the Data Live collab. So hopefully they tease the new collab during this next week, and it's only fitting. It's a nice Christmas present to us if they do announce something like that, so hopefully that is the case. But anyway, just a general overview of the upcoming schedule. On the 19th, which is based on Japanese Standard Time, so actually tomorrow night, December 18th, if you're in the US, is the start of the Japanese 2.5-year anniversary. You'll start the Grand War stuff. The Argonaut Gacha will be rerun. We'll get the new main story stuff for Bell, based on episodes 5 and 6 of the anime for going 2 episodes at a time like usual. You'll be able to roll for the new Lili and Hestia. It'll be the start of the anniversary login bonus. It'll start the last spurt missions for Ladder of Ario, and there'll be a lot of bundles on sale when that launches, and the Ravus Record Buster, and then the Mega Valus quest will launch as well. And then right there on December 24th is the Retweet Campaign, so it might actually be on the 23rd that will start because this is all based on Japanese Standard Time. But anyway, guys, that's the news for this week. A lot of stuff. Nothing too exciting because the main story stuff is just Season 2 rehash stuff. The interesting thing is the Grand War thing. There's a lot of good rewards for the Grand War stuff, and it'll be a little nice to revisit a lot of the bosses that we've been facing over the past year, so it might be a nice trip down memory lane. But hopefully next week we'll be getting that 100 live stream, and hopefully they're not going to hold back any punches and give us the knowledge of what this collab is supposed to be, because I feel like we've been teased about this for so long. They shouldn't have announced it like months ago, because all we've been thinking about every week is this the collab? Is this the collab? But hopefully next week, that's when it happens. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it informative. If you want to see more Danmachi content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, and join my Discord. And as always, continue enjoying your time avenging Arario and the dungeon. This is Lauren, your guild advisor, signing out.